So, yeah, the electricians are back. So once again, I do not have, my space is a hot mess again because they're back and they're, you know, doing their thing. All right, so these came from At Home. They're really cute, right? They're just little lanterns. I have a gray one and I have a white one. All right. So we're going to do the exact same, except I don't know if I have any. I have to have yellow, don't I? A little bit of yellow. Here it is. Okay, we're set. All right. Hello. So these were $12.99, and they have the little where you can put the battery in here so they light up. Okay. So alrighty. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated because it took me a minute. I couldn't find any of my greenery. Like, I don't know where it is. But we do still have the purples and the little wildflower, and we still have our tulips. So we're going to, we have one left of that bush that I couldn't find. That's okay. So we're gonna use this stuff to make a lantern swag. Hello. And can y'all tell I switched with Susan because I'll be at Sims tomorrow. So I didn't want to miss, since I missed last week. Okay. All right. Let's zoom in. Okay. So this is what I would have done last week. So we still have our daisy ribbon, our Swiss dots, and a little bit of yellow. So when you're doing a lantern, what you really want to do, now this one doesn't have anything that opens, so I don't have to worry about a door, but you want to make sure that your tails are not going to be longer than the lantern and kind of drape down. So you want to measure and see where it's gonna go. So it looks like about 9 inches. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do 9 inches. You also want to remember that you don't want to do really large loops, because see, like a 6-inch loop would look weird on this. So you want to go proportional to what this is. So usually my rule of thumb is I don't want to come out more than half of this base. So this base is about 5 inches, okay? So I don't want to come out more than 2 from that. So I would say about 5 inches is going to be good, because that's what, 2.5 and 2.5. Awesome. All right, so we're going to go 5 inches. I know, I'm excited. So 5 inches, and this is a good rule of thumb no matter what you're working with. So of course, if you're working with something bigger, then of course you would go wider. I use that same rule of thumb if I'm doing something with florals. So you don't want to go out farther than half of the base. Okay. Yes, and thank you, Susan, for letting me switch, so I won't miss. Last week, whew, last week was rough. Ross got the stomach bug, and then I got the stomach bug, and then my mom got it. The lanterns came from At Home. Yes, they did. And they're really pretty, aren't they? These little cute lanterns. Okay. So we did our loops at 5 inches. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 3, then 2, then 1 with our same ribbons. Those manufacturers in the way they put their ribbon together. Okay. It's better if it's not in the middle of your design, which sometimes it is. Okay. So 5 inches and 5. All right. Oh, what'd I do? Y'all, I'm not even paying attention. I need 2 loops with this. Not a big deal. We'll use this on something else. Okay, 5. So 2 loops, not just 1. There we go. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do 1 of the yellow. Let me move that. All right. You haven't? They're so easy and fun and pretty. Okay, going to put our little yellow in there. All right. There we go. So when I'm at Sims, I want to get some candlesticks. I'll also be teaching y'all, so I have an idea for candlesticks for the new place, and I am going to show y'all how I'm going to do them, because I'm going to make them myself. So, but I have to wait for them to get the electricity on so I can, which the electricians were here today. So they're telling me a week from Friday, a week from this Friday, they should be done. Oh, I hope so. All right, so we're just going to get it. I knew that looked short. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's some differences with this. So what I'm going to do is, y'all don't let me forget that I need to get more antique wire. I ordered some from Sims, but it never came, so I need to get some on there. So this is sisal. It's similar, but what you really want is antique wire. So what I'll do is kind of double this up, so it'll be a little bit thicker. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use so that I can tie it on. Yeah, I will try to go live from Sims. You just never know about what the signal is going to be like in there. Okay, so I want to put this to tie it on. And this is where it differs a little. I also want to put another zip tie in there because we're going to make a little swag. And we're going to put the swag, we're going to attach this to the swag. All right, so let's start by doing our fluff. Okay. There we go. So look at, You see how cute that is and how it's an appropriate size for what we're gonna do. All right, so we got the bow part. Now we're gonna make the swag part. Okay, so let's get our ribbons here. All right, so you can just do this on a lantern and nothing else. Okay, so that's the easiest. Or you can do what we're gonna do. I like making my own swags for it. You can use your bow maker or whatever you want. So I know for sure that when I do this, I'm gonna put some of this in it. So I do want a little bit of this in my lantern. So I'll pull a couple pieces out, trim it off. Okay. And I'm going to start building my little lantern base. Let's see. I'm going to put a zip tie down here. Try to get the sides. So you really want the sides to be, let's flip around this way. My little peg here was going to get in the middle, so I don't want it to get in the middle. So we're going to flip it. Okay, let's put this in the middle, just easier. Whoops, it's upside down. All right, so we got that. We need a little bit of this. Okay. All right. That's pretty long. I don't want that long. Okay. Okay. Let's flip it that way. There we go. Nope. Just gonna have to ignore that thing. There we go. All right. There's one. There's that one. So you can see how we're kind of building it out. All right. All right. I want to put a little bit of this purple flower in it. Okay. Now all of this is going to be underneath the bow, okay? So you're not really going to see the mechanics of it. Hi, Mama. And we're going to put a little bit of this in there. Got to have our little flowers, our little wildflowers. I'm going to put 2 on each side. I don't want to put it up too far. I'm making this a little bit longer so that I can make sure the flowers kind of come out, because I want them to show. There. All right, and then we'll do our tulips. So tulips, 2. I think we'll do 2 on each side. Then we'll look and see. Okay. That. Like this. Okay. Now let's see. So I think I've got to make the tulips a little bit longer. So let's take the tulips out, and we'll save these for our floral and let's make them a little bit longer. Okay. We just started not long ago. We've only made the bow and started talking about what we're putting in here. So I want it to be pretty long so that it'll show past the bow. So let's see, I've got about 5 inches on that piece. And what we can do is, so we're going to get this zip tie going. I like to zip tie everything together. It just is kind of an extra layer of protection. Okay, so then what we do is we look and see. So what I normally do is I will kind of bend it like this. So part's gonna go up and part's gonna go down. All right. So let's kind of move all this around. Well, I don't want you to come off. There we go. Like that. If you have a lot of pieces coming through or it looks like it's going to come apart, you can wrap it with your floral tape. I think I have some, yeah. Right, so you can just take a little floral tape. So floral tape works by stretching it out. So it's very sticky, but it can just be like a layer of protection to keep everything together. And then we need to kind of spread everything out. You don't want it all clumped up together. Okay, like that. All right, so let's see. I think this needs to be the bottom and this needs to be the top. And what we'll do is save a few pieces. Okay. So let's cut this big piece off. Okay. Then we'll take that extra piece that we added, that extra zip tie, tie it on. There it is. Okay, remember we have our sisal that we tied on, and that's what we'll tie it with. So now you can see we zip tied it, then we put a little tape on it, and then we zip tied it to our bow. We'll kind of spread our loops back out a little. And the reason that I do it this way is because what you can do is you can sell this as a separate piece, and so then all you have to do is, you know, when you send it to your customer, you just take it off, send them a little instruction on how to tie it on. Okay. So there's two different ways you can tie it. You can tie it down here or you can tie it at the top. So sometimes I like to tie it around the base because it's a bigger place to tie it. Like that. And I'm just twisting it on, kind of running it around the side so you don't see it. Now, like that. So then what I'll do is I'm going to curl some of these tails up, and we're going to put some stuff in the bow, because we want the bow to be part of the overall design. So we'll have to do that. We'll just take some of these same pieces that we used. You can also take your tails and kind of move them out to the side so that you can still see this. All right. So So let's put some stuff in our bow. Alright, so we have, let's put a little bit of this here. This little bit. Just going to pull it off. We've got some of this. We can add a little of this. Let's see if we can find some nice small pieces. Oh, it's pretty much mostly big. Maybe we can just use one big. Okay. Then I'll just drop it in my glue, and I'm just going to glue it right in between. Yeah, that's definitely what we want. So we might put a little bit more of this in. Okay, so right in between your loops. See how that starts to make the bow part of the design? Alright, so then we have a little bit of this. Okay, put some in here. Alright. And it does hold very well with the glue. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. So I just want to use the same elements that I have in the bow. I mean in the swag that we made. There, we got a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top. Let's do a little bit of these. And y'all, I know it seems like glue strings are not a good thing, but they are, because if you're getting glue strings, that means that your glue is not so hot that it would burn you. And so it just dries faster because it's not as hot. You don't want it to be as hot because you want it to tack immediately. And you don't want to burn yourself, because that stinks so bad when you burn yourself. It really hurts. It's just not worth it. Oh, do we have another one with that? Yeah. Let's do this one. I like these little long pieces. Okay. There we go. So this way we're kind of bringing this kind of back up to the top. And then it won't kind of be hidden in the back. It'll make it kind of come forward and look more like it's all part of it. So let's see. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, that's good. Good, good. You could also, so with a design like this, you could, because we're doing yellows and purples, you could add things like a lemon into it. Okay, so we got that one. Now, we're going to work on this. We're going to use the same materials again. This is Gaps and Cracks. It's been in there for about a year, and you can see how much it has shrunk up. So just be aware that if you use something like this, that it will shrink up over time, because it's not styrofoam, it's it's Gaps and Cracks. So what we're going to do is, I want to figure out the height or the length I want this to be at. Like this. So maybe about like that. Yeah, So about 3 inches. So when I do florals, a lot of times what I'm going to do is I'm going to green the base first. All right. We'll have some long, some short. All right, we're going to go all the way around. Now let's talk about, so I couldn't find where they put my florals, right? So if I'm trying to match everything perfectly and I have to use some a little bit different, one thing you can do, one little trick that you can do is take a few pieces from your other floral that you have that you're trying to match, put it in your new one, and take a couple from your new one and put it in your old one, and then you'll have pieces that'll match. Because sometimes we make something and then we can't get, you know, whatever we need to make more. So it's just an easy trick to have something like that that you can just plop in there, and you just kind of trade a little pieces out, and then it makes it work. I also, when I'm doing things like this, I like to start with things that are going to have a big impact, that are not going to cost a lot of money. So ferns, always, because, you know, you can put a few in there and it'll take up a lot of space, and then you don't have as much that you have to cover, because it gets to be expensive. Right there. So we're also going to have some that we're going to save and put kind of in the middle. So we want to save a few of these. So we'll save these right here. I kind of like to do that at the end, after I've put whatever I'm going to put in it. All right, so we did that. Let's see. I got a little bit of eucalyptus. Oh, you know what we didn't put in it? We didn't put ficus in. Dang. Okay, we'll add it. I completely forgot about the ficus. I wanted to put a little bit of ficus in our swag so that we could match what's already in our stuff over there. So we're just going to slap a piece in here. I'm just pushing it, I just push it down into that zip tie. There we go. There. Now we still have something that matches between the two. Okay. It's sitting right there. I can't believe I forgot it. These are so fun and easy. Alright, so we got a little bit of this. I don't know if we're going to use this or not, but we do need to use some of this. So let's cut some of this. Okay. Alright. This one is FG5756. I think it's different than what we've used because I couldn't find that really cute one. Okay. All right. There we go. So make sure you spread everything out. That one's kind of short. Let's do this one. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm establishing the height. I also tend to like to do the height about the same. So about 1.5 times the base. So this is 1 times the base. That's about half. Okay. You can do bigger with these. There we go. All right. We're gonna start bringing some color in. Okay. There we go. I'm cutting them a little longer because I want to push them down, because this has kind of shrunk up a little bit. Okay. There we go. Well, okay. I want another purple. That'll just help me with my balance. We got the purple in. Okay. I'm gonna put some of this in. I'm gonna leave the leaves in there because it will help provide some camouflage so that we don't have to put really any moss in the middle. These are not my favorite leaves, but they'll kind of create some ground cover, which is kind of what we want. So what I mean is, when you put it in there, this just kind of fills up that space so that you're not going to see down into the pot. Okay. Another cool little trick is then you don't have to try to go in and add moss or anything. Okay. Now as you can see, I'm kind of working towards the outside. Always spreading everything out. Let's cut a couple more. Whoop, I cut that one. I put that up too far. Let's push that down a little. Okay. All right. And this is doing a great job of covering or masking any of that space that we would have had. Okay. All right. So we might put a couple in the middle. But I want to get some tulips in and then we'll look at it. I'm hoping against hope that Sims will have some of this stuff. I know for sure they have these. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get some tulips in. This one I kind of want to start in the middle and then I'll kind of go towards the outside. Okay. All right. See, like that. Now I'm going to put some tulips. The glue strings. Just think of it like that's something that would have burned me. And won't, because my glue's not too hot. Now I'm going to kind of fill in this middle with some of these. So we want to cut them a little smaller. Okay. So kind of in the middle here. There. In there. Oh, huh, it's right in front of me. This one. There it goes. I was having trouble finding the little stuff. Got another one here. Okay, right in here. When you get in there a little bit, it does kind of get a little bit harder to get some in. Did I drop them on the floor? Nothing. Nothing important. Okay. Ooh, I cut that one awfully short. I think that's going to be too short. Yeah. Let's cut another one. See how that kind of fills in that center? And then I want to put a little bit of this, a little bit taller, right in there. Okay. What did I do with the other ones? Oh, here it is. Glue everywhere. Okay. About right here, for sure right over here. Okay. Let's spread this out a little. One kind of in the middle, like that. See how cute that is? Look. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back with these and kind of fill in, like I have a spot right here that could use a little volume in it. So we'll put one right there. Okay. Right in here. Like that. One over here. Like that. It's easier to put these in at the end. This one is really short. So, let's do a little cheat. a great way to use it when you have pieces that are just too short. And y'all, I avoid my pick machine unless I absolutely have to, because yeah, that thing is like dealing with razor blades. Alright, so I want to do right here. And right in there. There we go. Alright, so now I'll just kind of look around, see if there's spots I need to fix. I really kind of need maybe another tulip over here. Like that. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Make sure we got there. So you can do a bow on this or not. What do we think? So now we've got this with this. So see how you can see they're the same. And then we have, where did they put my wreath? Oh, here it is. So you see how these all work together? It's upside down. So this was the piece that I didn't have. This with this cute little stuff on it, which I really wanted, but I couldn't find it. See? So we're going to do one more for this series, and that's going to be for the candlesticks. And then, when they get out of my space, I will set it up so everything will be organized and everything will match, and it will be right there on that fireplace, which hopefully they will be out of my space soon. Awesome. All right, so does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Awesome. I love this. I love these. I would not put ficus in this just because it's not really, it wouldn't really work in this. So that's why I went with the fern. Oh no, well could you get longer ones and just chop them off? Oh, you want one of, which one are you missing? The little short one in the front? This little short one? Email me because I probably have an extra one. I'll look. Because I bet I do. I bet I have an extra one that you could use. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm gonna skedaddle because I gotta get ready for my live, and y'all, I haven't even listed the stuff that I'm using. I don't even know. I might not make it at 8. It might be just a little past 8. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that we were able to do this so that you didn't have to wait a whole nother week. And then when I get back, I'll have candlesticks, and we'll do those. Those are fun. Those are one of my favorite swags to do. The candlestick. I'm going to try to get some moss bases too, because I want us to do some stuff with moss bases. So, and remember, if you were planning to come to the retreat, make sure you get your ticket because we're almost sold out. Alright. I'm pretty much cleaned up. All right, y'all have a great night. And I'll try to do some lives when I get to Sims. All right. Thank you.